Hi everyone. A lot of you who are preparing for the CAT exam this year wanted to watch a strategy video. And to be honest, at this stage, it's difficult to give a blanket strategy that would apply to each and every aspirant. So something that may be applicable for one student may totally be irrelevant for the other student because you all will be at a different stage of preparation right now. Which is why for this particular video, I designed a small test and you don't have to log in somewhere to take that test. There are just three simple questions that I'm going to ask you, and you are going to rate yourself on the basis of those three questions from 1 to 3. And I will explain what those ratings mean. Whatever score you get basis that test, you would be allocated into a certain kind of aspirant, and the strategy for that type of aspirants would differ from the other type, which can be accessed here down in the duration bar. You can clearly see that there is bifurcation of this video on the basis of the type that you belong to. So first we would take that test and then proceed further. So there are three questions that I'm going to ask you. The first question is, have you completed your syllabus? Now, if you feel your syllabus has been totally completed, then you can rate yourself 3. Otherwise, if you feel your syllabus has not even been like 50% done, then rate yourself 1. And if you are somewhere in between, then rate yourself 2. The second question is, are your scores currently fluctuating? If you have stable scores, by stable I mean every time the percentile that you score is within a range of 5 percentile points. That means that let's say you are between 95 to 100 or 90 to 95 or 85 to 90. If there is only a gap of 5 percentile points whenever you take a mock, no matter where you are, then rate yourself 3. If that range is anywhere between 5 to 20, then rate yourself 2. And if that range is greater than 20 percentile points, then rate yourself 1. And the final question is regarding your confidence level. How confident are you that you would land at one of the top IIMs of the country? That is IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta. If you feel that you will certainly make it, or you feel it's quite likely that you'll land there, then rate yourself 3. If you feel dicey about it, you're not very sure, then rate yourself 2. And if you feel like it's impossible, you feel totally not so confident, then rate yourself 1. Just these three questions, and basis that you would get to know what your type is. If you have scored 3 or 4, then you're in type 1. If you have scored 5, 6 or 7, then you're in type 2. And if you've scored 8 or 9, then rate yourself as type 3 student. And basis that your strategy is going to differ. But before we proceed further, and you can select your type from the duration bar below, but before going over there, let me answer a question that must be going through any aspirant's head right now, be it any category of student. And that question is going to be, is it even possible to crack the CAT exam given that only 75 days are left? See, whenever you ask that question and you can replace that number 75 with any number, you are actually seeking validation. You actually seek an answer from someone else that you can do it. You only need validation that it is possible. And if you're looking for examples, sometimes when we get to know that the other person has done it and hence it's possible, if you need examples, what I've done for you is I've looked on Quora and I've found out people who have cracked it by working hard in this last 3 months of their journey. So if you just need those examples in order to believe the fact that you can do it, then what you can do is go to the description bar. I've shared the examples by listing down those answers. Go through them in your spare time so that you get to believe that it's actually possible. But once you believe that it's doable, don't look back. Just start on this journey, work on the strategy basis your type, and start working hard. Let's start with type 1 students because these students are going to require the most amount of effort. And I have a very simple question for you guys. There is a problem statement that's going in my head, and I need to figure out a solution for which I would require your assistance. Let's say that there are two athletes. They were supposed to finish a race going from point A to point B, and this race was supposed to be finished in a matter of 6 minutes. Now, athlete A was very dedicated, so the moment the race started, he started running. On the other hand, the athlete B took things lightly in the beginning. He thought he would start off a little late, and then he probably waited for some time before actually realizing that, oh, now it's the time to start running. So, my question to you, to all the type 1 students, is that who has a higher likelihood of finishing the race in those 6 minutes of stipulated time? Athlete A or athlete B? And I hope this question is not that difficult. You are preparing for the CAT exam. So you should be able to answer it very easily that athlete A is going to finish the race in the stipulated time. But what about athlete B? If athlete B, at the situation that he is right now, wants to finish the race in the stipulated time, what will he have to do? And I hope that you are able to answer this, that he will have to pace up. And his situation is no different than yours. If you want to finish this race of CAT exam in the stipulated time of 75 days, then you have to pace up as well. So that is the first strategy that's going to work for you. If you want to beat the other students out there, you have to complete more in a day as compared to what other students are doing who would have begun before you. Start by setting a deadline for yourself by when you would be done with your basics, by when you would be done with your syllabus. There is no excuse anymore, there is no more extension of this deadline. So, the final date that you set for yourself should not exceed 15th of October. That is the date that you have to set for yourself, thinking that beyond this, I would not be covering the syllabus anymore. I would be done with each and everything that I am supposed to. And when it comes to covering each and everything, you have to be very selective in your preparation. See, those who would have started in the month of Jan might have covered each and every chapter. But given that you have only 75 days left, and if you have to cover your syllabus by 15th of October, you will have to be selective in your preparation. What that means is that you put all your energies on the chapters that occur more frequently in the CAT exam over the years. And there are tons of blog posts written on it already, but if you still need a video in it, I would be more than happy to create one. So just let me know in the comments, but focus on the chapters that occur more frequently and consider them to be done by 15th of October. That should be your target. The second thing that you have to do is to limit your resources. Don't end up buying lots of resources and then not finishing anything at all. At this stage, a lot of students believe that if they solve a huge chunk of material, they'll be able to amp up their score. It doesn't work that way. Just like you have to be very selective in the chapters you pick, you also have to be very selective in the material you use. So either use the coaching material of any coaching institute or you select any self preparation book, but stick to it and finish the basics. That should be your target number 2. The third aspect is regarding your mock taking strategy. See, you need to take more number of mocks as compared to any other type of aspirant out there because you need more and more practice to overcome the syllabus that you haven't covered already. So at this point, you might target somewhere around 50 to 60 mocks in the time that's left, which means that on every day or every alternative day, you should be taking one mock at least and analyzing it fully. Another aspect that you need to take care of is that you don't have to worry about your mock scores. See, your scores will keep fluctuating till the very end, and the simple reason is that you haven't covered your syllabus fully. If you are not done with your syllabus, your mock attempts would not be stabilized, and thereby your mock scores would not be stabilized. So, you need to first of all increase your attempt rate in each and every section. That should be your major priority. And for that, you can watch the videos that I've created, section wise videos, wherein I've explained how to increase your attempt rate. Try to take your attempt rate to at least 80% in each and every section. That should be your goal. The final point I would like to share is regarding your confidence level. See, there is no denying that you would be facing a lot of pressure at this moment, knowing that the other students are already about to cross that crossing line of the race that you are all competing for. Just like athlete A who is about to finish the race, there might be a little bit of tension in the mind of athlete B right now. So it's totally understandable. But at the same time, what you need to consider is that athlete A is not going to have a lot of other scope left. They're only going to be doing a little bit more hard work right now, but you have an ample amount of opportunity to improve your mock scores. So while they might not be able to see a lot of jump in their score scores at this moment, you have a wide range of opportunity to see your scores improving and thereby get more and more motivated every single day. And people in the past have done it in 3 months. So it's not something that's not doable. So trust me, the only thing you need to do is get to work. Don't focus on what others are doing and only try to finish your syllabus by 15th of October and take lots and lots of mocks and analyze them. That's my strategy for type 1 students. Coming to the type 2 students. Now this is the category where most amount of students are going to fall, and the simple reason is not because you have not finished your basics. These students would be done with their basics in most cases, but their mock scores would not be stabilizing. There would be a huge range wherein their mock scores might be falling, and plus they would not be feeling very confident as well. So let us address your concerns. First of all, if you are an outlier in this particular category, which means that if you have not covered your syllabus, please do it by 15th of October. This is similar advice that I gave to type 1 students. 15th of October is the deadline by when you should be done with your basics. But in your case, if you have started working on your basics since the very beginning, then try completing everything and don't leave anything. The second aspect would be regarding mock taking exercise. See, for you, taking mocks is extremely important, but more than taking ample number of mocks, it is more important to be analyzing the mocks, because attempt rate would not be as much of an issue for you as would be the accuracy rate. By now, most of you should be already attempting 80% questions in each and every section. But the issue that you might be facing would be with the accuracy rate, and hence I would recommend you to watch the 3 videos that I've created section wise, which explain how to improve your accuracy rate. Besides taking about 40 to 45 mocks, which means on every alternate day taking one mock and analyzing it thoroughly, I would highly recommend you to maintain a notebook wherein you are noting down your mistakes. Now, by that, I don't mean noting down the entire question and answer. See, if you have a printer, that's great. You can take a printout of your mock and especially the analysis part and note down exactly where you made a mistake. Instead, you can simply maintain a notebook and try noting down the point where you made a mistake and note down exactly what is the pattern of mistakes that you're making. To give you an example, let's say that in RCs, you are especially making mistakes again and again in fact based questions. So every time you come across a mistake where you have made a mistake in a factual question, you would be writing factual mistake, that you missed out on a fact which was given in the RC but you could not spot it and hence you ended up choosing the wrong answer. When you write the factual mistake again and again in your notebook, you'll be able to recognize a pattern of your mistakes and hence you will know exactly where to work on, which will help you improve your accuracy rate. Do this with all these sections and maintaining a notebook like this can help you improve your accuracy rate. Moving on to the final part, which is regarding the confidence level. See, this is the category of students where the confidence level would be the lowest across the 3 categories, who may be feeling like they can actually do it, but there will be more moments where there are self doubts creeping in and restricting you from achieving what you want to. See, I honestly feel like giving each and every one of you a wake up call and telling you to open your eyes and look at your progress. You are almost there. Look at the examples that I've given in the very beginning of this video. There are so many people who took their mock scores from, let's say, 70s or 80s to 99 plus in the end by working hard in those last few days. There are ample number of examples. I will give you an example of 2 of my friends. One of them was 100 percentiler. When I talked to him and I asked him, how were you able to achieve it? Were you confident? He told me that he was not even aware of the fact that he's going to score 100 percentile a few days before the mocks that he was taking in the last few mocks. He said, I could not even imagine that I would be scoring 100 percentile. Similarly, even after taking the CAT exam, he was not sure that he would be scoring this much. He thought that he would probably be scoring somewhere around 99.2 or 99.3. So even he was not sure of that. Similarly, I have a friend who scored about 50 percentile in the VA section in his first mock attempt, in the first CAT attempt. And in the second CAT attempt, he worked only in the last 3 months and he took his score to 99 plus in the VRC section. How? By working strategically in the last 3 months and not doubting himself. Self doubt is going to be your worst enemy if you let it creep in at this point of time. You all can do it. If you belong to this type 2 category students, you are very close to achieving your target. Just stop worrying about these unnecessary things of whether or not you'll be able to make it. Even 100% Tyler is not sure whether he'll be able to make it or not. So you are no different. Just stop doubting yourself and start working hard. Just spot where your weaknesses are and start working on them. Believe in yourself that you can do it. Coming to the final category, the category which will be the most confident, which will be done with the basics and hoping which will be very close to achieving a very small range of fluctuating mock scores. So, welcome to this category. First of all, you don't need to be told much, you are already there. You're doing everything right, you just need to remain consistent throughout your preparation. That is the only thing I want to tell you. But yes, of course, there are some strategies that I would love to recommend here, because if you take a lot of pressure here, then you might end up making a mistake on the D-Day. So you don't have to take a lot of mocks first of all. People who belong to this category would be taking restricted number of mocks, but they would just be doing it in order to analyze them more and more efficiently in order to spot their weaknesses and working on them. So if you set a plan of taking mock exercises, then you need to decide on a number of mocks. I would recommend a number somewhere around 25 to 30 mocks. That will be more than sufficient. But even if you want to take more number of mocks, for sure you can do it. Just make a plan for yourself for the remaining days. After you've made a plan for yourself, you need to set your biological clock according to it. What that means is that you need to divide your mocks on the basis of the fact that you are not going to be aware whether you will get a morning slot or an evening slot. So take some mocks in the morning exactly from where the morning slot will begin, and take some mocks in the afternoon slot or in the evening slot where exactly those slots begin, so that your biological clock sets accordingly and you are the most aware during those time slots. This will help you become more familiar with the mock taking exercises. Another thing that you can do is to help yourself by facing the distraction settings. What that means is ask a couple of friends to come around, or maybe some family members, to do whatever they are doing and take a mock in their presence. Don't ask them to stop talking or talk slowly. Instead, just try concentrating more on the mock. Take this mock with the mindset that you might end up scoring lesser here because you are going to be in a distracting setting. But your objective should be to face those distractions and to become more comfortable with the scenario that you're going to face on the D Day. After taking the mock, you need to set some time separately in order to analyze it. And while you sit to analyze it, make sure that you are spending more time on analysis than you spent on taking the mock initially. See, when you set to analyze it, you need to spot your weaknesses in couples. By couples, you mean that every time you take a mock, identify two sets of weaknesses within a particular section. So let us say that you are analyzing the VARC section. First of all, consider every section to be a separate paper. When you are analyzing VARC, sit to decide that you are going to identify two sets of weaknesses. First set could be, let's say in VARC section, you find out that you are making factual mistakes again and again. That is one set of weaknesses. Another set of weaknesses could be that your parajumbles are very weak and you're making more and more mistakes in there, or you're not attempting them. So in every section, in every mock, identify two sets of weaknesses in couples and work on them before taking the next mock. The reason I am saying this is because if you identify only one set of weaknesses, then you might end up feeling that you are going to work on it, and in the next mock, if that does not get featured, you might not be able to see a change. While if you take couples of weaknesses, you might be able to observe the change because there is a higher likelihood that one of them will at least appear in the next mock as well. Once you have identified the sets of weaknesses, you can work on them by taking ample topic tests and sectional tests before taking the next mock. So use this in between two mocks. Final strategy that I would recommend, it's not a strategy, it's just an advice to you, is to feel relaxed and do more of what you like. I had shared in a previous video that you should be spending some time outside doing physical exercise in order to elevate your mood. That is more important for type 3 category students because pressure is going to be your biggest enemy. You need to spend some time on yourself or on doing activities that calm you down so that you're able to perform without any nervousness on the final day. So don't take a lot of stress. You're doing everything right. You just need to remain consistent and reduce that bracket, that range of fluctuating scores to a minimum possible. So this is all I wanted to share for the last 75 days of this exams preparation for type Y students. I hope that these insights are of some help to you. I do understand that a lot of you might be going through some amount of pressure. So if you just want to talk about anything in general in the comment section, feel free to do that. I would be more than happy to respond to each and every comment. Thanks a lot for watching this, guys. Take care.